Class, I want to offer you a comparison of two introductory speeches and highlight some of my thoughts about each of them so that you know where I'm coming from and why. We're going to take each of these speeches in 3 stages: introduction, body, and conclusion, with brief commentary in between, hopefully a lesson learned, and on with our day. Hit it. Hi, my name is Hank Sanderson, and I teach public speaking for a living. All right, simple enough. Began with the name, got into what we're talking about, pleasant smile, confident appearance. So what's the issue? The only thing that really jumps out at me here is the lack of an attention getter. My name. Who cares? Very few, if anybody. So it's usually a better idea to grab people's attention, then give the name, then back into the speech. A really easy way to do this is the use of story, narrative, example, or analogy. You can jump right into the story, then give the name, then segue into the speech. Let's take a look. It wasn't until the second time I was booed off stage that I realized this is what I want to do with my life. My name is Hank Sanderson, and I teach public speaking for a living. When I first started out, so much for the introduction. Let's look at the content in the body. When I first started out, it was really challenging. I didn't really know what I was doing. The students were absolutely brutal, and I honestly felt like giving up just about every single day. But I eventually got the hang of it. I improved my own skills a lot, and that ultimately translated to students in the class. Okay. The simple fix here is not leaving anything too vague. What I'm discussing actually happened to me. I was there. I know what it looked like, what it felt like, but you don't. So when I leave things vague, when I don't explain them clearly or paint you a picture, it's a lot more work for you. The onus is on you to imagine, to try to figure out what I'm saying. And in general, you don't want to make the audience work that hard. So paint them the picture, put them in that place. How can you do this? Again, one of the easiest ways: story, narrative, example, analogy. When I first started out, I found it incredibly challenging. And on top of that, the public speaking books seemed to be designed for the classroom and not to be applied to the real world. It didn't seem like anything that we were actually reading in the class applied to a real job. And I noticed this when all the students would give me intense pushback. This strategy is never going to work. And they're right. So one of the very first lessons I got was analyze your audience, know your audience, and give them what they want. And this audience wanted practical information that they can put to use in their lives today. So when I figured that out, everything else got easier. Identify the skills that we need in the real world today, and let's build them so that our tomorrow is how we want it to be. And finally, the conclusion. In summary, my name is Hank Sanderson. I teach public speaking for a living. I wasn't always very good at it, and I struggled a lot. But eventually, I got better. And in doing so, hopefully, I was able to help more students. Thank you very much for your time. Fair enough. It did somewhat summarize the main points that I was talking about, or more so, listed the main points. And there is a difference. Helping us remember those main points after a full speech, even a speech as short as 2 minutes, is helpful. A little bit of repetition, good. But if I simply repeat those vague, non-specific bullet points, I'm still not making that image any clearer in my audience's mind. So in the conclusion, instead of simply relisting those main points, I want to offer them in context with a little bit of emotion and with a view toward the takeaway, the main meaning, my main message, what I want the audience to take from this speech, I want to point at, to look at in this conclusion. So not simply listing my main points again, but highlighting them in a way that the audience can see them, feel them, and know how it's going to apply in their lives. Then you can leave the stage. And when I think back to those times that I was literally booed off the stage and how absolutely miserable I was in those moments, and to think about all the things that this skill has given me to be able to step onto any stage and walk confidently in my own skin around the world, anywhere I want to be, and to have the privilege to watch students take this skill as their own and do it in their lives too, has been the greatest joy of my life. My name is Hank Sanderson, and I teach public speaking for a living because it's the coolest job in the world. I kind of did go a little bit overboard there, but you get the idea. Nothing's perfect. Little bitty fixes make huge differences in perception. So try it out. It might just work for you. Till next time.